Let's talk about nap time. And to talk about nap time, we're going to talk about my friend Elijah. Elijah is one of the prophets of God, and he is in the Old Testament. 1 Kings chapter 18 is one of the highest points in his ministry. And he has challenged over 400 prophets of Baal and prophets of Asherah to a little contest. They're each to build an altar and put the sacrifice on it, but they're not allowed to light the sacrifice. They each have to call on their own God, and whoever God answers, well, that's the one true God. So naturally, the prophets of Baal, they get to go first, and all day, just for hours and hours, they are walking around this altar so much and calling out to their God so much, there's a ditch around their altar. And no fire. Okay? Elijah's turn. Elijah looks up to God, says a little prayer after dumping tons and tons of water on the altar. Shouldn't have been able to be lit, but Elijah offers up a simple prayer. God, boom, comes down, full, just pillar of fire engulfing Elijah, engulfing the altar, everything. And the only thing that remains is Elijah. Altar's gone, sacrifice, wood, water, everything gone except Elijah. You would think, wow, that's an incredible moment. He should have just been, pumped. In a sense he was, because he was able to outrun Ahab's chariots on foot. Because God gave him the power to do so. But he's running away, and, the queen sends him a message and says, hey, by this time tomorrow, you'll be dead. I'm going to make sure of it. And, you would think that after such an incredible moment, he would be like, what can you do to me? I mean, come on, God is on my side. But he's exhausted. He is just, more. There's more. I have to do more. I just need a rest. So he lays down and he goes to sleep. An angel of the Lord touches him on the shoulder. And the angel says, get up, eat. So he gets up and eats, but it's not enough. He goes back to sleep. Again, the angel of the Lord comes to him, touches him on the shoulder, says, get up and eat. And then he is strengthened and rested to continue the ministry that he needs to continue. Let's fast forward to Jesus. Jesus, Matthew chapter 5 through 7. 5 through 7, that's a pretty big chunk. We've got the Sermon on the Mount, and then as soon as he's done with the Sermon on the Mount, he's doing all this other traveling, and he's healing. He's healed Peter's mother-in-law, he's healed lepers, he's driven out demons, and you would think, wow, he's got God's power. I mean, the guy is unstoppable. But he's also human. At the beginning of, or in the middle of chapter 8, we find him in the bow of the boat as they're getting ready to cross over the Sea of Galilee, and he's asleep. Which, no big deal, except there's a huge storm. And he's still asleep. Now, I've been in some pretty big storms, and I live in Florida, and there's lots of hurricanes. Well, we haven't had one in a while, but hurricanes, and typically you don't sleep through those because it's just so loud. But here he was asleep. He was exhausted. There are times in our lives we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing for God. We are in the Word. We are in prayer. We are in worship. We are in fellowship. We are taking part in the sacraments. But our bodies give out. And sometimes the most spiritual thing that you can do for God is to stop what you're doing. Get the rest that you need. And heck, take a nap.